So yeah, talking about the home ents release for this film, which I think is really going to benefit from that, because it's one of those films I felt like stopping and reading up on everything that we're gathering in terms of the information. How did you go about absorbing the information behind the movie?
Absorb is the right word. It took a while. I read the script and then I went back and read the book, and then I read the book again, because as soon as you put down the book, there is a lot that you realize that you didn't necessarily gather the first time. So it took it's dense, it's complicated stuff, but I think the movie does a good job breaking it down, making it accessible, making it funny at the same time, but not being condescending.
Mm-hmm. The humor does come across, but it also feels quite perverse, laughing at certain points in the film.
Does, yeah.
Is that? Did you feel that when you were making it as well, that there was humor being brought out of very real situations?
Definitely. I think that's the stuff that's the funniest, is when it feels like it is coming from a real, organic situation. There were things that got laughs that we didn't know would get laughs, and there was. The first time I saw it with an audience, I was actually a bit taken aback by how much laughter there was.
Mm-hmm. Mark's exasperation in certain situations is fantastic to see, because I think that's how a lot of people would react.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt, again, getting into the character? And was there certain moments where you felt this is exactly what you would do?
I don't know if it's exactly what I would do, because the character that I play is a much more bold, kind of brash, and certainly has an acumen for this world that I don't. But that level of bewilderment, yeah, I think so. I think most people identify with that, because the character I play, the more he understands, the more he realizes that he doesn't understand. The picture becomes much, much bigger. It's a tip of the iceberg once he starts uncovering it, and it's enlightening but horrifying at the same time.
Mm-hmm. In terms of the time of the release, why do you think the time is now? Why do you think it's the right time to release a film like this?
Well, because the same sort of thing could be happening all over again. We're not out of the woods. Nothing has really changed since 2008. There are no regulations that have been put in place to protect the economy from this sort of thing happening again. So, I think it's timely. I think, whether the exact same thing could or would happen again, I don't know. I don't know if I have a good enough knowledge of it, but perhaps. And I think it's a cautionary tale, and I think in that way it's very timely.
I mean, it's quite a depressing ending as well, like you say, leading into the possibility that it could all happen again.
Right.
Do you think it's just such a dense industry that most people won't have an understanding of it to prevent it from happening again?
I think that's the hope within the industry, because early in the movie, Ryan Gosling, in his character, turns to the camera and says something, which I think is kind of perfect in inviting the audience in. I don't remember exactly what's being discussed at that point, but he turns to the camera and says, "You feel stupid, don't you? You don't understand what's going on." Well, that's exactly what they want. The big banks and finance, the world of finance, creates this terminology and these concepts that are so hard for the average person to comprehend that it keeps them at a distance, it keeps them at bay, and it kind of keeps them out of, it makes them leave the industry alone, because we all think we're too stupid to engage. But one of the things I like about this movie is that it does break it down, and without being condescending, it breaks it down in a very matter-of-fact and funny way, but at the same time respects your intelligence. And I at the end of screenings, I've been finding people actually engaging in discussions, and passionate discussions about this world and what happened and what could be done. So that's exciting. And who knows whether it would lead to anything, but it's a nice start.
Mm-hmm. And finally, I wanted to ask about Adam as director on this, more known for other types of genres.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that he brought to this project that made him so right for it?
Well, first and foremost, he's very intelligent. He's a smart guy, and he's passionate, and was angry. He came at this from a place of, I guess, anger. But I don't want anger to be thought of as a detriment to his ability to direct, because that anger and passion never got in the way of him telling a story or doing it in a humorous way. He never took himself seriously, but took the subject matter very seriously, and but at the same time was able to have fun with it and make it absurdist. So I think he was a perfect choice to direct this, because he's, generally speaking, he's the funniest person in the room, and the smartest, and the most politically passionate. So I think those things combined made him an excellent choice.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!